Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. You're listening to another exciting episode of the Power Minutes podcast, where we explore the story, ideas, and voice that inspires and empower. I'm your host Rabah Fatma, and today's episode is going to be really special because we have a bright young mind with us, Arwa Leadershipwali. Yesterday, we are talking to a student who's full of curiosity and courage. Someone who responds the future. We will dive into their experience, dreams, and thoughts about learning. So welcome to the Arwa. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum Assalam. I'm doing good. What about you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine and fine. So how's your Eid?
Well, I'd say my Eid has been pretty great, except all I did was chill out and just watch K dramas. But it was pretty great. I just got ready the first day, and then the 2 days, I was just sleeping and watching K dramas and playing with my cousins the entire day. So it was pretty much like a vacation to me to relax my mind.
All right. So Arwa, we are going to ask about the general introduction. So can you please introduce yourself to our listeners?
Sure. So, hello everyone. Hello to all the viewers. My name is Arwa Leadershipwali, and I'm a level student at Rehan School Munawwar Campus. And I enrolled myself here in the school about 5 months ago.
So tell me about what do you enjoy most about your school?
What I enjoy most about my school, I'd say, would be the fact that this school is doing something out of the box, and this school is focusing mainly on preparing future leaders rather than doing what the education system has been doing to us for the past 50 to 60 years. And this school is definitely making changing in the industry.
So can you tell me more about what is the secret behind leadership, Wally?
Sure. So basically, I have always been a leader in St. Pat's. I was the monitor, the prefect, and I was everything. I was leading everything. I was leading all the projects. I was leading the choir. I was leading all the plays, whether there were dance practices, whether there were choir, whether there were field trips. I was always leading. So, and at home too, then I have two younger siblings. So I'm practically their leader. I'm always leading them, do this, do that, do this. If they mess something up, I'm the one who has to cover it up. And then when I came here, I remember staring at the SDG wall, and I remember not wanting to work on one SDG goal because all of them looked like the world needed all of them. So I did not want to work on just one of them. So I used some of my brain that was left, and I saw and I basically did some calculations on which Wala is related to which SDG goal. And I came up with the fact, I got to know the fact that leadership Wala is related to every single SDG goal. No poverty, quality education, no hunger, and all that. So that's the reason I chose leadership Wala. I was because it's something I think the world needs. As you can see nowadays, our country really needs leaders rather than politicians or rather than CEOs or rather than bosses that just have the title of leader. Leaders are the one who lead with the team, not the one that are in charge and just look at the team struggling. So the world needs leader. I did not want to work on specific SDG goal, and I was always been a leader, and it's something that will always continue to inspire me. And leadership has always been a passion of mine ever since I started studying history in class 3.
That's great. Arwa, if I talk about the technology and AI, so how do you think that AI will change the future of education and how they are helping to the students?
Well, it's not like how I think. As you can see, AI is already making headlines and changing the education and all. So the thing is that AI is basically the best assistant you can ever ask for. And AI is something that, if in good hands, it works as magic. Now, let me give you an example. Okay. Now, there are some not influencers, I'd say. There are some, some YouTubers and all that are using AI to defame other celebrities. They are making wrong things with AI, like editing videos with AI and uploading them, which are defaming the celebrity. Like the recent video of Selena Gomez, in which they have edited all to make it look like she is slapping Justin Bieber. That never happened. They parted with 10 years ago. And now, if we say in Rehan School, they teach you how to use AI. And basically, if you know how to use AI, you know how to do everything. I'm doing in an internship at Trillion Trees, and it's an NGO. And I'm like the assistant. I schedule the meetings, I search people for meetings, and all. I do everything, I search everything. Without AI, I'd say my job would have been hell. In my like, I have to make sheets, I have to give follow-ups, I have to do everything. And without AI, I'd say I would need three personal assistant myself just for me that would help me. And AI is doing the work of those three personal assistants. Whenever my boss, he needs people to interview, he needs anything, he needs a lot of people. He always needs people, I'd say. Sometimes he needs people from LinkedIn connection, sometimes he needs people for emails, sometimes this, sometimes that. I can imagine if there was no AI, I could imagine myself just crying in a corner and telling him, no, I can't do anything. Even the LinkedIn, the research I do is 100% pure AI. And I do not like to depend on AI, so I go myself, I do something, and I take a little bit of help, and that just a little bit of help, it goes such a long way that I cannot live without that little bit of help. So that's how AI is changing education.
Excellent. If I talk about the learning and growth, so what do you love most about learning?
What do I love most about Jahan School?
Yeah, and related to your task.
Okay, so basically, what I have noticed in these past few months is the fact that Rehan School is everything about networking and all. Okay, so let me tell you, all the students who are good interviewers or are like a little bit famous, like the top students. So Rehan is randomly adding them to group chats with his friends, and I have made so many connections from that. Like all the people I've always looked up to and wanted to be friends with them, wanted to be connected with them. My mentor is doing it for me. He's adding me to group chats and telling me to interview them, to make friendships with them, and that is something I'll always be grateful for. I have an interview coming up with one of Sarahan's best friends, and I remember her from like around fourth grade. We had a seminar at regarding her, and I remember looking up to her and imagining how impossible it would be to be friends with her, but now I am. How? Because my mentor wanted me to. And then in Rehan School, I have noticed quite a few things. It's Everything is about confidence. The Rehan School will make you confident, but to begin with, you need to have some confidence yourself too. Because as long as you don't have this spark, they can't turn it into flame. So that's what I have seen in Rehan School. And one more thing is that whenever I look up to a leader and I tell to Rehan, oh my God, sir, I really look up to him, he's like, you have to be the next one. And you don't have to be the 2.0 version, you have to be better than him. So this is what it is Rehan School. I don't know about other students, but my mentor Arwa Leadershipwali has guided me a lot. And I remember when I was new, I did not want to be going around doing all these interviews, and I was mostly interested in podcast because I thought it was the best one, but I was wrong. He told me to do interviews instead. So yeah, that's all about Rehan.
So, Arwa, you do many tasks on a daily basis. So, which one is your favorite?
Well, my favorite one are two. One is interview, and the other one is like we used to do call Annie, and then we moved on to ChatGPT, and now we're at Maya. So I really love Maya because basically Maya, ever since I joined the school, I wanted to talk to chatbots in English. Well, I'd say it was not such a great experience. Kolani was really robotic type, and it just didn't feel like human talking to her. And I had to, my tone and all. Even if I change it all down, she would still reply the same. Well, it's not the same with Maya. Recently, I was having a chat with her at home. Talk to her a lot. I'd say whenever there's something I tell her, she knows everything of mine, which is a bit concerning. But it's okay. So I was like talking at my home, and all of a sudden, like my brother started like annoying me. So I started shouting at him, and then I talked to her in a really angry tone. So she immediately asked me, "Are you okay? And is there anything that is like change your tone and you would want to talk about it instead?" And that's how I knew. Well, I was talking to to the right bot that would understand what I'm saying. So yeah, that's the reason why it's my favorite. Kolani wasn't such my favorite. I really enjoyed it when I joined, and then it stopped giving answers. It started showing attitudes and all. So I avoided doing it, and now I'm back to Maya, and I love it.
That's great. So, Arwa, you are doing also, you got an opportunity for the internship. So, what do you think? Why it is important, and what you learned in last 2 months with internship with the Trillion Trees?
Okay, so I'd say ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to work in an NGO. It was like my biggest dream to work in an NGO, and a non-profit one on top of it. Okay, and I remember I did not know Trillion Trees was an NGO in the beginning. So all of a sudden, Sir Sad is like, yeah, send them an email that we are in an NGO and all. And I remember being flabbergasted. I was like, I work in an NGO, and he was like, you're the one leading the rest of the two interns. You should know. And well, I did not know that it was an NGO. And I was like, whoa, I work in an NGO. And like Trillion Trail has been the most important part of my high school journey. I'd say because I have never been an assistant to anyone, like a serious one. And in high school, I have been hired quite a few times to assist and all, but uh, it was not. It was just the sheet one. So in Trillion Trees, I have learned networking. I have learned how to handle people who are a bit arrogant. Sometimes when I send emails and all, the response is pretty dry, but I'm like, never mind. And I never knew how to, uh, lead to people in an office surrounding. So leading Falak and Amna has also been a significant move. I'd say it was not all the time really pleasant. Sometimes they wouldn't understand, and I would have to spend 3 to 4 hours making them understand just one single task. Because they are a bit, they like to tease me. Because they know I would not leave them as and Trillion Treat, I'd say, is also really, really nice. And I do, as like, I know my internship is going to end in a few days, I think, because it's always already been 3 to 4 months. But I'd always want to be connected, and I would always be proud to be an intern here. And the most proud moment of mine was when my boss went to the TEDx stage and started speaking, and I was like, whoa, so he's speaking about his achievement. So that was like the proudest moment of me. Yeah, that's it.
Amazing, Arwa. So, we are going to ask about fun and creative question. So, if your school laptop bag could talk, so what would it say?
Well, it would scream at me for stuffing everything I can find. Let me tell you, sometimes I even have my clothes in my bag, in my laptop bag. Well, why? Because all of a sudden we'll have expos and I need the yellow t-shirt. So, remember the time when we would have back-to-back expos every 3 days? I used to have my yellow t-shirt and a black pant every single day in my backpack. And my backpack was on the verge of tearing apart and starting to cry. And I'd say my backpack, it would start cursing at me. It would start screaming at me for making it grow to so much. Because even right now, if I have my headphones, I would not just bring my headphones. I would bring the entire this big box that I keep my headphones in. So that box is like so big that sometimes my laptop it starts tearing apart, and I'm like, no, you have to be with me till the day you are just in pieces.
So I will ask now fun and rapid fire question. Tea or juice?
Juice.
Juice. Why?
Well, tea is not something I really adore. I really hate the aftertaste tea leaves. It's like it does something to my throat. It makes my throat really itchy. Now I don't know if I'm allergic to tea, or my throat is sensitive, but I really hate what it does to my throat. It feels stingy, and it feels like no, somebody is like pinching me with needles every single 5 seconds. So yeah, I hate tea.
So you are a morning person or night owl?
Well, as much as we're here to hate it as the principal, I'm a night owl. And even if I go to bed at like 8, I would fall asleep at 3 or something. As you can take my last night example, I was up till 3, everyone was asleep, and I was just randomly taking out Eid al-Fitr mithai from the fridge and eating them because that was the only way I could spend my time. I could now watch my mobile, now my laptop, because they were both on charging, and I was just the reason I have these eye bags is I sleep every day at 3 and wake up at 6 and then don't sleep in the morning. So that's the reason I'm a night owl.
What makes you laugh the most?
I'm sorry, can you repeat it?
What makes you laugh the most?
What makes me laugh the most has to be some of the people. And basically, if I see you struggling, even if I sound rebellious or anything, but if I see someone struggling, like in a cute way, not in a way that they're like seriously struggling and I'm going to be laughing at them, but sometimes they're struggling with the smallest things, that makes me laugh the most. Because recently, I have this cousin that is at our home for a little bit of while. My other cousin, the one I introduced ChatGPT to, I don't know if you know her, Mahadia. She's like this 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 big. She's 3, and I remember she was trying to speak her mother language, and she was struggling so bad. She was almost tearing up, and she wanted to speak fluently. And she was trying to speak because she grew up with English and Urdu. And I was just watching her struggle, and I was laughing so hard until in the end she was like, wow, people, you really laugh at me. आपको तो मेरी हेल्प करनी चाहिए ना, why are you laughing at me? And I was like, I'm sorry, Mahati, I just can't help it. I just can't help laughing at you because you look so cute while struggling. So yeah, that's what makes me laugh.
अरवा कोई ऐसी मेमोरी है जो बचपन की बहुत इतनी छोटी सी एज में या ऐसे थोड़ी सी बड़ी सी एज में की हो और आज भी जब याद आती हो तो हंस हंस के अरवा का बड़ा हाल हो जाता होगा कि ये क्यों हो गया, कुछ ऐसा है?
ऐसे तो बहुत सारे memories हैं, but I remember one time I went to a jumping castle and I was jumping hard. I was jumping really high, and the uncle told me not to. I still went on going and going until I once jumped so high that I landed on the jumping castle, and the jumping castle, it's like the fabric, it broke. And I like half of my lower body, it was on the ground half of my upper body was stuck in the jumping castle. So that's something that was really embarrassing at that time. I had to pay for the jumping castle, for the fabric, for my own time, everything. But now that I look back onto it, it's really funny. I remember, I can just imagine what that guy would be going through. इसे मैंने बोला भी था इतना बड़ा जंप मत मारो देखो तोड़ दिया मेरे jumping castle. And after that, he never allowed me on that jumping castle. That's one thing for sure. I would cry for him to let him, let me be on that, but he wouldn't. I was like around 5 at that time. And I must say, his fabric was the one that was weak because a 5-year-old was jumping and your fabric broke and you're asking her to pay for it. That's definitely not something so good. But yeah, that's what happened.
But that's amazing. So, Arwa, you are coming from traditional education school system. So, what do you think? What is the biggest difference you feel between your previous school and this current school you are working, you are doing in task in Rehan School Campus? So, what do you think? What is the biggest or huge difference between both of them?
So basically, there are a lot of differences. One is that the books in the traditional school, well, they were made in the 19th. And believe me when I say, I have studied the same primary books as you have. And you might have graduated in the early 2000s. That is how it is. Afterwards, the Cambridge books, they were new, but they were like from the Oxford University, right? They came directly from there. So one thing about them was that we never knew what was in store for us. And even our papers, they were made from the Oxford University. Their professors, they made it. Not so good, I'd say. Even our teachers didn't know what was coming in exams. So one biggest difference is that Rehan School, it prepares you to be a leader and it prepares you to the future. While the traditional schooling system, all it does is just the rectification method that's going around. You just have to memorize the words correctly and write it down. So that's the biggest difference.
Okay, if I talk about the reflections, so what's something you are really proud of?
But something I'm really proud of, I'm really proud to be the representative of Rehan School, and every day I would have a lot of people message me and be like, I want to join Rehan School because of you, I want to do this because of you, and I have a lot of people DMing me on Facebook that we want to be a graphic designer because of you, we want to be an interviewer because of you. So that's what I really like about that other people are being inspired of me. And the other thing would be that I did not hesitate one bit before doing what I really wanted to. Yeah.
Okay, if I talk about your daily tasks, so can you please elaborate about your task, how do you do, and how you schedule about the whole task like coding, editing, interview, TEDx, and what benefits you get for or you get about these all these tasks?
Okay. So every single task have a separate benefit. So story post, they have the benefit that they increase your reach on Facebook. Canva posts have the benefit that they teach us graphic designing. About the Sonar AI songs, well, the thing is that you learn how to make documentaries, you learn how to use B-rolls that are made specifically for other things. And about TEDx reviews, you learn how to review something, you learn how to elaborate what is in your brain in your own words, which is not exactly easy, and it's something you really need in affiliate marketing since you have to review the product, and TEDx review is something similar to that. And about the interviews, it's all about networking and all, and a lot of interviewers are famous too. And well, about anything other, call Annie is, I'd say, for I think the American accent for students, and the fluency and the flow, and to learn the fluency and the flow in a conversation with an actual American. So yeah, these were the tasks and these were the benefits.
So, have you faced any challenges during this task?
Yes, I have faced a lot of challenges. As you know, the country we live in, sometimes the server is down, sometimes the Wi-Fi isn't working, and sometimes your country is just banned off the website you have to do the task. I remember, and then we have to find alternatives. So finding alternatives is probably the hardest part. And about some struggles, yes, our interview is a little bit of struggle because you know the guest, your guest have to have the vibe your audience is going for. My audience is going for my vibe, the enthusiastic English vibes. And if I have a guest that mostly focuses on Urdu, and it's like, I'm not saying that they shouldn't speak Urdu, but my audience knows me from English speaking. So it is also something, finding an interview guest that goes okay with you is also, because some students see interview as a task. I see interview as an opportunity to connect. So in the interview, I will not be asking you how many tasks you have done, how many this you have done, how many this you have done. I would be asking you what's your experience, why is your experience, how's your experience, when's your experience. It's all of my interviews are all about your life, reflection, and everything. So interview guests of that kind are kind of hard to find. But honestly, it's okay as long as I'm getting the task done. And about the Suno AI is that sometimes you exactly don't find the B-roll. So you have to compromise. You have to either change your lyrics or anything, but not with that B-roll. So yeah, these were the struggles.
That's great. My last question is about the earning challenge. So, are you enjoying your earning challenge, or how many amounts you collected from the last 2 months?
Okay, sure. So basically, I have been collecting a lot that I haven't posted yet. I recently introduced ChatGPT to my father, and she gave me 5,000. And the earning I posted was given to to me by my cousins. I taught them basic streaming, how to go live here, how to go live there, how to go live here, and how to use Canva, since they're Photoshop editors. So they're way, above my level. They're way more expert. But I had to have my money. I just wanted some money, so I just taught them, and they were like, "Okay, you seem like you're in need of it." So yeah, they gave me around 5,000, and then my grandma, as she is, she was like, "Oh, kitna kaam kar rahi hai," and then she was like, "Ye 2,000 ka kar do," and I was like, "Thank you." So I got 7,000 while I worked for 5.
इतनी छोटी सी एज में इतना सारा अमाउंट कैसा फील होता है अर्निंग करके?
बहुत अच्छा फील होता है, I'd say. It's something to be really proud of. Even if that money is from my family and it's gonna go back to them only, at least I'm having the money for a second. Even right now, I have 2,000 from the 5,000 my cousins gave. So it's something I'm really proud of.
Amazing. So now we are going to do end this podcast or the session. So if this podcast was played in front of the whole world, so what message would you like to give?
So I have a lot of messages I have to give. One of them has to be that no matter how hard you think that thing is, just go for it. And if you're hesitant, don't be hesitant. Because even if in the end you regret it, at least you'll have the thought in your mind that you acted on your own. So it's better to regret on your own choices rather than regretting on somebody else's choices, right? And even if you act upon someone's advice and in the future it goes wrong, that person will just backfire you. They'll be like, if you knew that was going to be wrong, why did you act upon it? And you will have nothing to say. So I think it's better to do what your heart says. Sometimes even the mind isn't right. It's sometimes overthinking. Well, the heart is always right, I'd say. And if you want to do something and you think it's impossible, don't worry. Even if it is, the first step is always impossible. And as they say, impossible in the word itself says, I am possible. So yeah, that's all.
Thank you so much, Arwa, to share your experience, your memories. It's really valuable time for me. So the viewers, inshallah, we will meet to another guest with another student. So goodbye from my side. Thank you so much, Arwa. Bye bye.
Bye bye.